Something's absolutely slammed it. Oh, got a fish. Seen one that big before? Shit, no, never. Oh, that's a beast. Thanks as always for watching the video. We're fishing for perch again. It's been really difficult. The river has been completely unfishable at times, but we have managed to get out and catch a few fish. A lot of people that watch the videos aren't actually subscribed. It really would mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel. It does support kind of what we're doing. But without any further messing around, we start by hitting the canal with lures, looking for those big perch. Right, some fry just scattered. Right, once I've got this in, I'm on the move. Just seen some fry scatter on the far bank. Right, we got something. Oh, please be a perch, please be a perch. Oh, that's not a perch. Nah, it's a pike. That's what was making them scatter. Oh, would have been a good sized perch that as well. Whee! I knew I saw something making the fry scatter. And there's the culprit. I saw fry scattering on the far bank and it was this fella. Would have been a really nice size for a perch that, wouldn't it? But never mind. Let's get him back. That was the morning session. In the afternoon we decided to hit a different section, and this time I took 2 rods onto the bank with me, which I don't do that often, but on a previous session I'd seen some really nice sort of overhanging margins on the far margin, and I wanted to take the drop shot rod out with me to investigate them. So on that one I was going to drop shot with little rubber minnows and worm style lures, and on the other rod I was going to use the Texas rig that I took you through, the adjustable Texas rig where I've got a Texas weight and a glass bead. There is still a bit of colour in the water, so I wanted to create some noise, and having fished it for a little while I decided to kind of lock all the components down and actually fish it Ned style with a 5cm squirm in an ale colour. So that's how the rods were set up. Let's get back to the fishing. Right, I'm going to investigate this bush on the far bank. I'm gonna... Oh, that's not bad. A bit like if you were carp fishing, I'm sort of going to crawl up to it and use my clip. I'm going to try a few different lures around it. Bottom. Pretty good. Oh, that's great. See how close you can get if you use the clip. Unreal. Try not to move it. Trying to keep as much line out the water as possible. Nice high rod tip. Not moving the lead. Okay, the wacky worm's out. No, that's not a very good cast. Maybe something a little bit more blatant, like this much larger sort of worm. That's not too bad. Not great, the drop shot just snapped up. So I switched to a Ned Rig, but I've got a second rod with me. It's already set up with that. Well, it's set up with the sort of like the Texas arrangement where I can slide the stopper down at the top to lock all the weights in place and just sort of fishing Ned style now. I need to get it closer to this boat on the far bank. The light is blinding though, right in my eyes. I want to get it close to the boat, but I don't want to hit it, don't want to upset anyone. We've got a fish. Oh, what is it? Is it? Something's absolutely slammed it. Yeah, I had a feeling it was a chub. Is it a chub? Yeah. Like a good one too. Wallop. Fantastic. Absolutely nailed it. Whew. Cool, it's got the heart going. So not what we're after, we're out here fishing for the perch, but we've got a chub. Isn't he stunning? Hit a squirm. Let's get him back and see if we can get that perch. So yeah, not exactly what we're after that, but still pretty pleased with that. I knew it wasn't a pike straight away, and yeah, I thought it was going to either be a perch or a chub. Did suspect it was a chub. So I'm back in the spot where I had the chub the other day. It's first light. Let's hope that today we find some of these perch. It's cold. It's only about 2 degrees. It's dropping below freezing at night. So we're going to fish slow. Some of the water colour has dropped out the water, so I feel like I can take off some of the bells and whistles, you know, the Texas weight and the glass beads and whatever else, because I think I've got some visibility. And I'm actually fishing with just a small straight 3 gram jig head. Hiya. I feel confident in not having a fish weedless because I've fished this section for a bit now, a couple of times. You can see I'm fishing slow, really slow. Just have a go alongside this boat in a minute. I've got about 3 or 4 different sections of the canal that I'm going to try today. And see how I get on. So this is probably the first location of 3 or 4. I've started to build a picture of the areas that I want to concentrate on rather than roaming up and down for miles and miles. Having a look at the lure in the water. Let's see how it's acting. Really nice with just a little 3 gram jig head on these Squirmz. I think we can go a bit too heavy with our weights that we're using. It's falling really quite nicely. But unfortunately I snapped up. So I took the opportunity to switch up the lure. Scaled down, which kind of worked for me the other day, and scaling down does work, I find, when things are getting a bit tough. So I have put on a tiny nimble, not the smallest one I've got. I've got nimbles in 3 sizes. I've got, in fact, 4 sizes. I've got 5 inch, 4 inch, 2.5 inch and 1.6. And what I've got on here is the 2.5, yeah. In Swamp Pearl as a colour. When you let it drop and hit the deck, it's easy, especially after you've been fishing for a while, you know, for an hour or so, for you to sort of lose your concentration and become a little bit too uniform, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've zoned out and now you're just doing 2 turns and a drop, 2 turns and a drop, 2 turns and a drop. Now that doesn't look very natural, I don't think. It's too uniform. So you are better off trying to keep your concentration and making sure that, you know, you're letting it drop, you know, half a turn, then a 2 turn, and another half turn, then a 1 turn. Do you see what I mean? And mixing it up a bit, a little bit of a drag along the bottom. You know, natural. If you're trying to mimic something that is natural, obviously they don't move in that robotic, uniform way. I do find that you are best off letting it drop though. I have had them sort of, you know, on fairly straight retrieves, but you are best off periodically letting it drop because, as we all know, they do love a falling lure. They do love a lure that's dropping. And if you've used a really light jig head, which you should try and use the lightest you can get away with, then it will fall quite nice and slowly. And last time I was out, I started to get fish when I dropped right down to like a 1 gram jig head. But wasn't getting them when I was sort of fishing, you know, 3, certainly nothing when I was using 5. And of course, when there's been a lot of rain and the flow's quite hard, then it really is difficult to fish effectively with really light jig heads. But you've got to try and do it, I think. It's important to try. Try and fish as light as possible. Just covering the trees here on the far bank. investigate those a bit. Get as close as we dare. Long pauses while you're over near the feature. You don't want to put it in the strike zone and then draw it straight back out. It's where the drop shot's good. Literally, you can keep it in that strike zone for much longer with a drop shot. You know, like I said, the only thing you can do is like switch up, put like a squirm on or something like that, and fish that structure Ned Rig style, keeping it over there for long pauses, really long pauses, you know. Fishing it almost like bait, but giving it a twitch now and then. On the next session I was actually out with Dan, who you might remember me mentioning in the grayling video. He was a bit of a star, put me right on the grayling, so in this session I was trying to get him a decent perch. He's not even seen a decent perch, let alone caught one, so I was really hoping in this session that we might be able to get him one. What have we got here? Oh, got a fish. He must have hit it on the drop. It's only a pike, I saw it. He must have literally hit it on the drop, that fish. No, it's all right, I got my net, you carry on. He's like a tiny little pike. Look at him. He must have nailed that on the drop. I'm not even joking. Could have almost swung him in. There we go. Yeah.
Well done, mate. Well done.
I felt him hit that when it was still.
Oh, look.
There we got one. You got it? Well done, mate. There you go. It's a proper one as well.
Look at that!
There you go.
Oh my god!
Seen one that big before?
Shit! No, never! Oh, that's a beast!
There you are, look. They're getting fat. They're starting to get very fat. Very cold conditions haven't stopped us coming out this morning. And look at him, isn't he stunning? Fishing the Ned Rig, really slow, bumping a squirm along the bottom. Absolutely stunning. Can't feel my hands. Gonna get him back. So a stunning fish to end on there. I'm a little bit gutted that we didn't manage to get one for Dan, but we will. Fancy a bit of chub fishing next, or maybe some winter carping or pike with lures. I've got a bit of footage to share with you, just want to catch a few more. If you enjoyed the video, then please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Until the next one, look after yourselves.